Good afternoon, everyone. This is Henry, and as we get into the free video, there's a few setups that I'm looking at here, and I wanted to share them with you in a way that suggests, first, caution in the overall markets, right? We all know that up here at lifetime highs, we are extended, and if August is going to have any of this seasonal tendency to sell off, well, then we want to be very mindful of that as we get into the next couple of weeks. We could pull back to a significant degree, but I like bringing you these ideas. These videos come up once a week for myself that sometimes are a little bit longer term. So keep these in your watch list and come back to me, or we'll try to revisit them maybe in the beginning of November. If not the beginning, the end of it. And let's see if these ideas can come through in a big picture way. The first that I want to give you is Goldman Sachs. And if you are new to the squeeze, it can be a helpful spot to just look at it in the past. You can see this signal in the lower subgraph is what I am studying, and we make the transition from the red dots into ultimately the green, and just look at the move that followed, right? It's the idea that you're trading in a range, and when it expands and begins to move, well, then it trends very well. So you can see the same signal that is forming here, and I am of the belief that it is getting ready to take us into 422. Inside that, we could come all the way back to, let's call it the 100-day moving average. Do you remember this Monday? Most people probably do, where it was a pretty violent drop, right? The entire markets were really getting bludgeoned. It was the biggest correction that we'd seen in some time, but that bar was met with significant buying, right? That ended up being a significant low. So I'm just trying to tell you that anything down in here, I think, is generally beneficial for a long-term pattern higher. If we get below here, well, then I was wrong. And thankfully, options is a game where you can define your risk. But I wanted to bring you Goldman Sachs. I wanted to bring you Peloton because this is another where I think it's getting ready to drop in the short term, but I think it is a bear trap. Like all of this, I acknowledge the risk and the potential of being wrong, but I like the pattern of a 7-day correction that led into the low, and then seeing that same movement in time that then caught bears flat-footed. I'm showing you a correction that was similar to the correction here, and then you can see the rally that followed. So I'm trying to look for almost like a harmonic pattern inside this, and if Peloton gets here below 108, well, then I'm wrong, and we're probably headed to 101. But if this break right here is actually a spot to begin positioning ourselves for the 3-month move higher, that's what I want to be prepared for. I see that on a weekly chart that has momentum of the weekly squeeze shifting from lower to higher. I'm usually trying to buy the 10-week moving average in that move. And I'm accumulating it over the next month for the idea of a push into 136. And then the third that I'm going to leave you with is Shopify. Now, Shopify just got done reporting earnings, and it may very well need some time to digest that. But above 515, I'm looking for 1771. You can see that this level has been relatively key all through here. Then you get the 5-day rip through it. This is the pullback to it. And I would say this is another where if the opportunity is short term, it's going to hold here and now. You're going to see it on Friday, you're going to see it on Monday, and we can start working higher. If instead it has to trade down to 1400, so be it. I think it'll be on a better discount there. And then I'm going to continue to look for that 3-month target into new lifetime highs. So I hope that is helpful, gives you some ideas and setups to follow as you get into your next couple of months of trading, and I'll revisit those with you as we get closer towards the end of the year.
Without simpler trading, I could not have financial independence.
This is one of the best investments I ever made in my life.
It's helping me find consistency. It's one of the things that won me